Alright, so as you guys know, I'm an engineering student in college, and that takes a lot of time. I mean, aside from all of the classes that I have to go to, the homework definitely takes hours to do, and every week there's always something to do, whether it's taking a midterm, studying for a midterm, or just getting through all the work that I have to do for the week. But regardless, I'm still able to go to the gym pretty consistently, stay active, hang out with my friends, and make these videos. So today, I'm just gonna be talking about how I balance making videos and doing school. I'm gonna talk about 4 things that I do to make sure that I stay productive and get the stuff that I want to get done. But yeah, without further ado, let me explain how I balance college and content creation. Alright, so the first thing that I do is whenever I know of an event I need to go to, or I know of some task that I have to do, I put everything in one place so that I can see everything for the week, I can see everything for the month, and I can see everything day to day. So yeah, before I do anything, I always put everything in one place so that I know that it's there, I know that I can see it, and then I can do rearranging and stuff like that after the fact. My platform of choice for this is Google Calendar. I just think that it's pretty useful and, intuitive to use. Yeah, whenever I get an event or I know what classes I'm going to be taking for a certain semester, of some club event that I want to go to, or something that I plan for myself that I want to do, straight to Google Calendar. I usually put it as an event, and then if I have an assignment that I need to do, put it as a task in Google Calendar. I think that regardless of what platform you use, centralizing all of the things that you need to do and all of the events that you need to go to is the first step, because if you don't know everything that you have to do, you won't know what to prioritize, what actually should be done first, what you should make sure you do before this date if you don't see everything. So I think that that's why it's important to put everything in one place, make sure that you can see all of your events, all of your tasks, all of the stuff that you want to do, and then the stuff that you need to do, and then you can make judgments from there on what needs to happen when and what you're gonna prioritize doing. Alright, so you've put everything in Google Calendar or Notion or something like that. What's next? So the next thing I do is I make a list of my priorities. Usually I look at time, so I do things like most urgent to least urgent. So I'll do that for my schoolwork, my homework and stuff, and then longer projects, I'll split the work up over the time that I have to do them so that I get a little bit done each week. And then while I'm also making that list of priorities, I include things like going to the gym, when I'm gonna hang out with my friends, when I'm gonna make the videos, when I'm gonna edit the videos. That way I have basically the same bird's eye view as before, but now it's a little bit more focused. So I know what I have to do pretty urgently and what I have a little bit more time to do. I think this step is also pretty important because you have to know what needs to be done first and what needs to be done next, and then what needs to be done last. I think you guys probably get that, but I think actually doing it and seeing it visually, like some sort of task list or doing an ordered list or something like that, will definitely help. Now, another part of this is the fact that you can't really get everything done in one day. So don't expect your list of priorities to always get done every day. Sometimes some of the things on your list of priorities won't get done that day. They might get done a little bit later, maybe later in the week, or maybe even another month. As long as you have that list, as long as you have something somewhere that shows you all those things that you're like, by this time I want to get this done, that way you'll always be able to reference that and you'll always be able to come back to the things that you need to come back to. Definitely a very important step. I urge you guys to use some sort of prioritization system. I just use Apple Notes, Google Calendar as well, same thing. I think it's very helpful to do that in tandem with the first step, because then that way you'll have all your tasks, all your events, you'll know what you need to go to and what you don't need to go to, and then stuff that doesn't really matter, you can get rid of it. You can have a very clear view of what you need to do day to day, week to week, and then month to month. So yeah. Alright, so now at this point you should have everything you need to do, everything ordered, priorities, most urgent to least urgent, or however you want to organize what's most important to you. But you have that list, right? So now it's time to get to doing stuff. Alright, so the next thing that I keep in mind, and it's not really a thing I do, it's just more of a thing that I always tend to follow, is I don't multitask. So usually when I'm building my schedule based off of this list of events that I have now, I always set aside a block of time for that task only. And I only think about doing that task during that time. So I'm not thinking about doing anything else. I'm not thinking about preparing for other things that I need to do. I'm only focused on that one thing that I've set aside for myself for that period of time. Again, I think this is kind of self-explanatory and you guys probably already know this, but I think that it's good to keep it in mind because a lot of the time it'll be easy for you to do maybe like a participation activity for a class while you're working on a long homework for another class. And I think that that is where it becomes hard to keep up week to week and as things start to get harder. Especially when it comes to school and university, a lot of classes have these kinds of small tasks, participation activities, things that you can get done really quick. But if I try to do those things while I'm also doing another longer piece of work, it becomes harder for me to remember everything from both parts. And then once I don't fully comprehend something from one part and I don't fully comprehend something from another part, I'll just end up being behind. And then when more content that builds off of that comes up, I'm gonna have to go and review the other content, spend more time on that, and it just snowballs. It might seem like a little thing, but I think it's definitely a very important thing. So especially when it comes to schoolwork, homework, stuff like that, I definitely set aside only that time for one assignment. Like I'm gonna do the electrical engineering homework and I only work on the electrical engineering homework, and I don't really do other participation activities or stop halfway through and do something else. I just feel like that's good for my retention of the content that I'm studying, and especially academically, I think that this holds very true and is very helpful to follow. Now, in terms of other stuff, I think it's also very helpful, especially when it comes to filming these videos. I don't like to film videos during the week at all. Now, this week's a little bit different. It is a Thursday when I'm filming this video, but the idea is that if I'm focusing on one thing, trying to do another thing in the same period of time will just make me worse at both. So yeah, whenever I'm filming a YouTube video, I'm always gonna pretty much do it on the weekends, or if I'm filming during the week, I'm not gonna touch any of the production of the video or any of that until the weekend. I usually do this for long videos because I feel like it's easier to spend like all of Saturday and Sunday working on making a video good, because then I can split my mental power on video editing for just the weekend. Then if I'm doing anything during the week that's content related, it'll probably be like a reel or a short or something like that. This just helps me keep everything kind of like separate and blocked out, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of what I mean by not multitasking. I think it's just a matter of focusing on one task at a time and focusing on that task with your full attention. So yeah, when I follow those three things, I've created pretty much like the perfect kind of schedule for myself. But I definitely think without this last tip that I'm going to talk about, any of this would have been possible in terms of what I've made so far and all of the content that I've done. But yeah, the last tip that I have is, it's kind of cliche, but gotta be consistent. But specifically, be consistent with these small things. The harsh truth of this entire thing, all of this productivity and stuff that I've been talking about, is even though I say all these things, I don't get everything that I need to get done. I said it earlier in the video, but it's kind of impossible to go to every event that you want to go to and finish every single thing that you want to get done and all the stuff that you need to get done every single week, right? But what I have been consistent with is stuff like making sure that I upload a video every single week. I think that that fact alone is just, it's a small thing. Just like make sure that there's a new video every 7-ish days or before the next Saturday, right? Might seem small, but it's those kinds of things that help you learn the most, because you learn the most from being consistent. You don't learn as much from doing as much, you know? Like I could have chosen to instead maybe make one really high quality, really well edited video, but I only posted like when I felt like it, or once a month or something like that. Then I will only have made one more video from the previous time, versus now I've probably made upwards of 10 videos from the start of this year just from uploading consistently and trying new things. And I think that having small goals like that, small things that you'll dedicate yourself to doing every day or every week or some time frame like that, is what's going to help you learn the most, help you get as far as you can get, and really help you stay consistent with all of these different side hobbies and things that you might want to do too. In summary, the thing that's helped me stay consistent with college and content creation is being consistent with the stuff that you might not even see, or the smaller things that you might not realize. As much as I can lay out everything on Google Calendar and look at it and then be like, oh, I need to do this, as long as I'm staying consistent with posting a video every single week, or let me make sure I study X amount of hours every week so that I'm staying ahead with my classes. I think it's those kinds of things that make more of the difference than any of the prioritization or productivity hacks that anyone can say in these videos. So yeah, if you had to take one thing away from this video, I would say 3 or 4 things that you definitely want to be consistent with, and stick to that, and then try and get the other stuff that you need to get done with the tips that I talked about. Alright, so that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you learned anything from this video, please comment down below what tip resonated with you the most, and if you're gonna start utilizing some of them. Also, let me know if you guys like this style of videos and want to see more kind of productivity stuff like that. I'm definitely experimenting on this channel and trying different kinds of concepts, so I'm not stuck to one thing. But yeah, I think I've mentioned it a few times in this video, but I am uploading weekly, so if you guys want to see any of the videos that I make in the future, definitely subscribe. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.